On November 7th, 2022, Niklas Edin's rink was taking on the Matt Dunstone squad in the semi-finals of the Penticton Classic. Edin's team was playing with only 3 players, as Edin himself was out while recovering from knee surgery. Outside of those who follow competitive curling very closely all season long, this game wouldn't have gotten much attention. But with Team Edin down 2 in the 6th end and needing something special to score, Oscar Eriksson threw a shot few had seen before.
This wily veteran, he pulls out all the stops. He puts so much rotation on this that when it slows down, it's going to start turning straight sideways. And it's still going to have enough power to possibly. Oh my god! Oh my god! It was such a great shot.
At the time, Oscar's spinner got a surprising amount of attention, considering the relatively obscure, at least to most curlers, event that it took place in. Most curlers had never seen a shot like that. Those who had attempted something similar noted that Eriksson had obviously practiced this shot, given the precision with which he threw it. Sure, he didn't quite make it, but what if he had? Would we see Team Edin pull this club out of their bag again in the future? Fast forward to Wednesday, April 5th, 2023. Niklas Edin's Team Sweden trails Magnus Ramsfell and Norway by 2 in the 10th and final end. With Norway sitting 1 and corner frozen on the inside of Sweden's only rock in the house, and with those rocks buried behind corner guards, it looks like there's no shot for Edin to score 2 and send the game to an extra end. That's when arguably the greatest curler who ever lived pulled out this shot.
Crowd with a chuckle. I'm not sure if they're expecting this to actually be
yeah, they don't realize this is an attempt.
Perfect fart! Whoa, whoa!
Got to curl a little bit.
Oh, come on. Come on, Edin. Come on.
This is really
Oh,
close
it's
on the
real
line.
close. What's he got here? What's he got? Oh!
Unbelievable!
Oh my God! Will it sit? Will it sit? Will it sit? Come on!
No!
Let's go one more!
Oh, he spun back!
Wow. Just wow. Nobody has ever seen a shot like this made in competition. Few have even seen anyone pull off something similar in a practice scenario. And while we can, and I will, try to explain how this shot worked physically, how Edin managed to successfully make this shot is another thing entirely. The amount of practice work that went into making this shot had to be massive, as this is essentially learning how to throw a completely different kind of shot than with a standard curling delivery. It's a team shot as well, as the sweepers must know how to judge the weight, while Eriksson has to understand how to call line on something that looks nothing like any other shot they threw during that game. With that out of the way, how does this shot even work? Well, first, Edin puts an incredible amount of rotation on the rock by turning the handle a full 180 degrees, then rotating it quickly back to 12 o'clock on release. I can only suspect that Edin and his team have found this to be the most consistent way to add that level of rotation to a rock, while still being able to hit the broom and not throw the rock off course. Throughout our curling careers, we've been told that more rotation on the rock means less curl. This is still true, and you can see that the Edin rock curls relatively little for the first 3/4 of its way down the sheet. However, throwing the rock with this much rotation will keep the stone moving at a slower speed for longer than you'd expect without dying. Edin threw a rock that appears to have been just over 15 seconds from hog to hog. However, if it hadn't hit anything, it would have easily gone through the house because of this continued movement down the ice. As the spinner eventually slows down, it will then pick up more and more curl. If we accept scratch theory, the rock may be making a massive number of small scratches in the ice, and a very slow rock is going to be more prone to picking up additional curl than a faster rock would be. The first thing this impacts is the angle of attack for the shooter on the Norway stone. For this shot to work at all, Edin has to hit the red stone pretty much sideways, which can only happen because the yellow rock is curling at a more severe angle than one would expect given the weight it still has when it makes contact. That's a relatively small part of the story though. Even if you could hit the rock at the same angle and with the same weight with a typical amount of rotation, you would not be able to move the Norway rock enough to make your rock behind it count. However, the extreme rotation imparts a much stronger gear effect on the object rock than you'd normally see. The red rock picks up just enough counterclockwise rotation to spin up and off Sweden's stone, turning a rock that looked dead impossible to remove into a non-counter. Every millimeter of movement ended up mattering as well, because Edin barely won the measurement after his shooter stopped in the back of the 12-foot. That makes this shot simply an incredible mix of rotation, accuracy, and weight, as that was the only weight this shot could have worked at to both move Norway's rock enough and stick around to sit too. The fact that Norway won in the extra end will quickly be forgotten. Edin's shot, on the other hand, will be remembered forever. To be fair, I'm not an expert and I can't necessarily vouch for the physics I've talked about with this shot, but I tried to gather opinions from a number of sources. Most notably, you can see a lot of discussion on Eriksson's shot from earlier in the season in a Reddit thread that I've linked in the description for this video. Regardless, as has been said by numerous commentators and players across curling, this is perhaps the greatest shot ever made in a serious curling match, and will change how elite players approach these situations going forward. We can look forward to more people trying this in the future, and some of those shots even being made. But there will always only be one first super spinner that was made at the elite level. For it to happen in this big a situation by this legendary player is just an added bonus.
This would be the best shot in history if made.
That is the absolute craziest shot I've ever seen.
Yeah, oh, that has to be too. Unbelievable.
I can't believe what I just saw.
This is why he is who he is.
That's insane. That's the best shot I've ever seen in my life.
If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and share it with your curling friends. If you'd like to support Chess on Ice even further, check out the channel's Patreon, where you can get a bunch of exclusive benefits, like early access to most of the videos I put out, and exclusive content on a monthly basis. As always, thanks for watching, and good curling!